Hi, you're listening to Julie Taylor, and this is Julie and Company. Today, my guest is Claire Citeau. Claire is the Community Life Coordinator here at Brome Lake. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. It's so nice to see you. Last time I met you and saw you was at the Volunteer Awards Night last fall. So, Claire, your speech was impressive. It was on point. It was sensitive. The evening was pleasant. There was a great vibe. People were just happy to be together. What's your take on it?
I think it's a very important event for the community. People do a lot. They volunteer a lot, and it's very important to offer them this space to gather, to enjoy, to party together. So it was very important for me to be really involved in organizing this event. And I was really happy to see people enjoying this moment together. Yeah.
And who came up with the funny titles for each award? Because you rewarded at least 8 people, I think.
10.
And who came up with the funny categories? And
It was me. Yeah, because I want it to be a relaxed event. I don't want to be too serious. That's why I have this idea to have funny rewards. Yeah. We had like 8 funny rewards and 2 more serious ones.
And people were voting. How did you calculate the votes, or how did you get people to vote?
So I asked people to nominate names, and then we had a committee to choose from the name that was nominated.
I see. So that was so much fun. So I got to meet you, and I also heard at that evening that Brome Lake is launching a page where organizations who have availabilities and wish for more volunteers to be involved for specific roles can list and advertise the openings that they have. Of course, this is all volunteering, so it's free, but it's possible if you have free time and want to get involved more in the community that you would go on the website of Town of Brome Lake, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, because we decided to implement this page on the website because I used to have people calling me or writing me emails asking for volunteers opportunities.
And so you would take those calls and wonder, well, who might need them, and send them right and left, and now so it's organized.
Exactly. So now when I have people contacting me with this kind of question, I can send them to our website, and it's very easy to fill a form. If you are an organization looking for volunteers, you just fill a form, and we will receive, then take all the information and put the information on our website.
Yes, and Claire said if any organization who's trying to fill out the form and has questions and isn't sure quite how to get it done, because if they're not techno savvy, to give her a call.
Exactly.
Call the main number at City Hall and ask for her, and she'll help you to put up the information. So Claire, it's occurred to me that you have an accent.
Maybe.
And so I'm thinking, where are you from?
Actually, I was born in France. And I arrived in Quebec in 2008.
I was thinking, is this something you've always wanted to do? And how did you come about coming to the township? So I'm projecting myself in your shoes. It's 2008, and you're arriving in Montreal.
Yeah, so I lived like 10 years in Montreal. And at some point, I felt like I needed change. And I liked the Eastern Townships. I liked the landscapes, architecture, and so on. So it's
a unique region.
Very unique.
And it is quite, in terms of Quebec, it's very unique because it seems Quebec developed a lot in bungalows. But this region doesn't have that many. It's quite New England-ish. But also the landscapes. And I imagine from the time I spent as a child and young adult in Europe, it has that sense of, rolling hills and pastures. Did you feel like you were closer to home when you were here?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a bit closer from what I know from France, yeah. You're right.
Both visually, but how about in terms of values and community? Did you resonate with the area?
Yeah. I mean, I would say in France it's a little bit different in the way that we volunteer, but it's different from here. I don't know how to explain that. I never really thought of that, but
you know, I imagine, unless you're from Paris or a big urban center, I imagine that in Europe there are still some agglomerations around smaller centers and community and more integration with nature and the agricultural aspect of the economy, I'm guessing.
You're right. Actually,
did you see that?
I grew up in I would say it's not a big city, but it's very crowded in the south part of France. So I didn't really see this part with the agriculture and so on, but you're right, we have small village and close to nature and agriculture, but where I grew up wasn't really like that.
But it resonated with your roots generally as a French European. All right, so you come to Montreal and you were working always in community life?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, when I arrived, I work in eco-quartier, two different eco-quartiers in Montreal. There are organizations that work in
environmental
sensibilization.
Right.
Thank you. So I spent like 6 years with these two organizations. In 2014, I decided to go back to school and studying special needs education.
And so your relationship to community, people, helping the environment, that's kind of what I'm profiling from hearing you. Was that always there? Did you study to do this, or did you come from finance, for example?
In France, I studied in administration and with a specialty with environmental assessment.
Yes. What's an environmental assessment, for example?
It's a good question. We were studying how it was very economic way of considering nature.
Yes.
So now I would say like 20 years later, I don't really agree with what I learned like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I learned how to give a price to nature. But for me now, it doesn't have a price. So it was how to be able to say that, okay, this part of nature is worth like this amount.
And what kind of list would you go down? I guess there were a percentage that you would allocate to, let's say, clean air, clean water, you know, I'm suspecting calm, densification, all kinds of things. Even, I guess, if there is wildlife, I suspect there might have been a list of things that you're nodding yes. I'm letting everybody know I'm not saying stupid things. She's nodding yes. So was that the kind of list that you would be evaluating and putting a price on nature?
We didn't have a list, but it was the reflection, the idea of this program. Yeah.
Looking back, we know nature has no price today because it's a finite commodity, if we want to put it that way. And we had a talk with a collective that is protecting the Brome-Missisquoi region rights and interests with hydro coming in with new renovations. It occurred to me that what we have here is what money can't buy and what urban centers don't offer. And it is so important to stay awake and mindful and present. So to take your comment, we know that nature has no price, but looking back on how you were evaluating nature 20 years ago, was that a good way of doing it, or would you consider new ways of putting a price, quote unquote, or value on that which is nature?
I would say that what I learned 20 years ago was a way to put a value on nature, but it has changed so much in 20 years. And
what has changed?
We are more aware of the climatic crisis. We are nature. It's not about taking care of nature.
We're an integral part of nature, and our health is narrowly linked with nature's health.
And the more vulnerable people are really suffering from climate change. When you're very young, when you're very old, when you live in suburbs, you don't have air conditioning. It's really hard to live this very hot moment. So
the extremes and the changes in weather, the less normalized climate is taxing the youngest and the eldest in our population, is what I'm hearing. And so looking back, you would not put the same price on nature as you would today.
Yeah, but it doesn't have price for me.
Mhm.
It's like human life. It doesn't have a price.
Oh, get with the program. I'm kidding. I hear you. Now, you're in Montreal. You want to do some change. You've worked in community life. You studied in administration, but you were always environmentally conscious. And now, so you're thinking of making a move. The Eastern Townships are talking to you. How does one change their life so much as to move from the city to the country in one leap?
I wanted change. So it took me several years before I decided to leave Montreal, but it's part of my personality. Once I have made a decision,
there's no going back.
No.
And so did you find work first or where to live first? How did it all come about? And did you just drive around until you had a sense of belonging, or how did it work for you, literally?
So I was with my boyfriend, so we looked for a place to live first. And we went to several places in Eastern Townships. And I would say it was the beginning of the housing crisis. So 2018 was, I would say, the beginning of the housing crisis. So we were looking for a nice apartment, not too expensive, with a nice neighborhood.
Yeah. So you had criterias.
Yeah.
An affordable rent, pretty, in a good neighborhood. Did you have a car?
Yeah, we had a car.
What were the other criterias?
We didn't have so much because I lived like 10 years in Montreal, so it's hard when you're moving from this very urban place to a more rural place. And we found a place in Waterloo, and I realized that it was very important for me to be able to walk to a grocery store, for instance. So where we were in Waterloo, it was possible for us to walk to the grocery store and to the lake. So it was really nice.
How much time did you spend in Waterloo? Did you find that the community offered some work that you were more aligned with?
I just spent 2 years there, so it's hard for me to tell. I met very nice people, but 2 years for me is short.
And what was the next step from there?
So I was pregnant.
Congratulations, a little late.
And so we had to move to a bigger place. We looked for a new house, and we found a house in Cowansville.
I see. Cowansville is booming right now. Are you enjoying the change of scenery? Because Waterloo is more rural, quiet, and Cowansville is feeling more and more busy and paved.
Yeah, I like Cowansville because it's just a little bit bigger. So you have all the facilities
services,
and services. So for me, it's perfect, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, would you like to be on the show? Do you have any questions or ideas you'd like to share? Go to julietaylor.ca and leave me a message. So the children go to school in French?
Yeah.
And they speak English as well, I imagine?
No. English is not my native tongue, so I don't want to speak in English with them and they have a bad English. I prefer them to learn at school with their teacher.
Yeah, they'll learn from being around. I remember for myself coming to the region to my knowledge, because I didn't go everywhere in the Eastern Townships, but from the city, Cowansville, it was such an exciting place because a lot of teenagers were there, a lot of younger people. When you leave an urban center where it's very mature and you come to a rural area where there are younger people and everyone is bilingual, you get service in any store. There's no beef about the language. People are fluent. They go back and forth. And when it comes to Knowlton, because I've been living here a while now, to see that people have French-Canadian last names but speak English, or the opposite with an Anglophone last name and speak French.
Yeah, I know. I like this mix.
It's great.
Everybody is mixed.
Yeah, it's really nice. So your children will be bilingual.
I hope
You'll make sure of it, won't you? So, okay, you're in Cowansville now, and you're working at this municipality for how long?
2 years now.
How did you come across the employment opportunity?
Actually, I found a job offer for the leisure coordination, and I had an interview, and I was offered another job. I was offered the job of the family resource, and I've been the family resource of the Brome Lake for 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then my job turned into community life coordinator. So basically, I'm not animating groups of kids anymore, but I'm coordinating the public markets.
Yeah. Tell me about the job. So it started as one thing, evolved into something else. What does a community life coordinator do in town of Brome Lake?
Okay, so one of my big tasks is to coordinate the public market during summer. Mm-hmm.
And what do you need to do? You need to make sure the stalls are all paid for, or finding the right people? Do you do a product mix between, flower growers and bread makers? Is that part of your marketing?
Yeah. Actually, I'm doing a lot. I want the market to be attractive to clients and to offer what they need.
Right.
So they need good food. They need a nice place to stay. They need to have a nice place for community. Last summer, we really saw that people were coming to the public market, enjoying their time there, talking to their friends, sitting, having a coffee. So it's
no longer strictly for shopping and catching up. You really want it to be a destination.
Yeah, it's very important for me.
What did you do in the last year that you saw some positive results? Different from previous years.
You mean about the market?
Yes.
Yeah. This year on the market, we had the men's shed. Mm-hmm. They came all summer long. They were there with coffee. And I think their presence really had a nice effect on the market, bringing more community vibes and so on.
What does the men's shed do? Just a little apartheid, because I think it's lovely and I've heard it time and time again. How do you join the men's shed? If I'm a guy, or I say I have a boyfriend and I want him to get out of the house a couple of times a week, I say, go to the men's shed. Yeah. What does he do at the men's shed?
You can contact them. Contact Robert Helhen, the director or the person in charge. Yeah. And they do a lot of construction. They do a lot of woodwork. And they have so many projects. I can't tell you everything what they are doing. So that's so much stuff.
So is it just anyone who submits a project and then they decide if they want to do the project and then they come together and they execute the project? Or is this, say, the said boyfriend who goes to the men's shed? Does he himself have a project and execute it there? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. You should talk to them.
I think I'm going to have Robert on the show next.
You should have.
Okay. So back to the public markets. You had the men's shed. You think it brought a lot of community vibes. What else? Did you put coffee tables? What changed from one year to the next where you saw some results?
I bought some umbrellas, parasol.
Yeah.
It made a big difference because the part where you can sit down at the tables is very sunny, so it gets very hot in summer. I bought a small table for kids. For next year, I want to have
crayons and paper and things like that.
Yeah, but I want to have a mud kitchen for the kids so they can stay here, play, and so on. Yeah, when the kids are happy, parents are happy too. So, and they spend more time there, they have more.
That's wonderful, because before it was a destination for parents shopping, and now it can be a destination for families.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to have more non-for-profit organization to be here, to have a table, so it's free. If they want to come once or twice during summer, so they can meet the clients and the citizens of Brome Lake.
So these are all new things of the last year.
Yeah.
That were measurably more successful.
Yeah.
For a community environment. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I have to say, we have une fromagère, and she came back because she told me that client from Brome Lake called her, she's from Mercier, and people were asking her to come back. So that's why she came back, because she knew she had client here. I think people are really happy to see
There's
her.
also it who started at the farmers market here in Knowlton, and obviously they've gone on to be not only very successful as growers, but also as teachers of a worldwide community of growers. Yeah, it's a wonderful place. What about the product mix? Okay, you've got the community angle, you've included the kids. Do you pick and choose? Do you have the last say on who gets a stall? Because it's limited, correct?
Yeah, I have the last say. My goal is to offer a very diverse market.
Yes.
So people can buy everything they need at the same place.
Yeah.
For instance, I won't have 4 people selling vegetables. That's no sense. But 2 for me is good. So I try to have a very diverse offer.
Product mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you do the public market. What else would a community life coordinator be involved with?
Involved in the organization of the Family Day. So the first one was last year in May. 2026 will be our second year. I have several events: the Family Day, Volunteer Awards Night.
What's Family Day? Is it at Lions Park or something?
Yeah, it was in Lions Park. This year, I don't know if it will be in Lions Park. We'll see.
What I'm curious to know is at the awards night, you were giving recognition for the people of our community, involved in our community, organized in our community to help people of our community. So we have all kinds of services, correct? Yeah. Do you want to tell me a few?
Yeah. So we have Wellness, who is doing an amazing job with transportation for older people who can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
They have luncheons too, with a special important dates like Christmas, for instance. They have the Meals on Wheels too.
Yeah. So you have a segment that feeds the people who need services because they're less mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you move them around or you transport them, correct?
Yeah.
What about for children? And what about, I heard lately that there was a bit of issues economically, inflation and whatnot, and so there was people falling back on food banks.
Yeah, so we have I think the Lions are taking care of the food bank. They're organizing it like once a month. So the Lions are doing a lot for the community too, with the Christmas parade, for instance, but so much activities. We have the Opti Club from Brome Lake. There will be at the Christmas show on December 7th, giving a gift to the kids that will attend the show.
So all these people raise funds to create situations where they can give back to the needy.
Exactly.
I see. Yeah. And we have a fridge, a community fridge?
Yeah, we do have a community fridge in the community center.
And when is that?
It's open from 8 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
Okay. Weekdays
and weekends
as well.
Too. Yeah.
So that's to help people who can't put food on the table regularly. They can fall back on that.
Yeah, usually the community fridge has more vegetable in it during summer because we receive vegetables from the Brome area.
So a lot of people involved, different levels to give back and to support the community and the needy in the community.
Yeah, and it's really important. I can see how big the difference is, this very committed community.
Yeah, it's very proactive.
Yeah.
Claire, thank you so much for coming by and talking to us about all of this. And I'm reminding people, if you want to give of your time, you are not necessarily attached currently to an organization and you're looking for a place to give, you can look on the website at Town of Brome Lake. And if you don't find exactly what you're looking for, you can call Claire Citeau and she will show you how to get involved, which organizations, because they always need people.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye. This catchy, positive, upbeat pop song by Fred Bound at Free Music Archive is licensed CC BY.